Ilia Topuria's bold callouts and fight announcements. Ilia Topuria has never been shy when it comes to trading words, but now he's looking straight at the top of the food chain. In one recent interview, he declared both Islam Makhachev and Charles Oliveira were ducking him. Topuria believes his unmatched confidence and rising stardom have the reigning and former lightweight champions shaking in their boots. He went as far as calling their excuses symptoms of fear, challenging the notion that he's too small or unworthy of a title shot. But are these simply mind games, or does he have a point? Some fans agree Topuria's style, a lethal mix of striking power and grappling prowess, could dismantle the current lightweight hierarchy. Others see it as classic bravado from a hungry contender aiming to fast-track himself to a championship fight. No matter how you slice it, his words have sparked endless chatter about whether he's unstoppable or just a little too cocky. Kamaru Usman's approach to Sean Brady. Kamaru Usman is no stranger to big moments. Having defended welterweight gold multiple times, he's always analyzing future matchups in hopes of reclaiming the throne. Recently, he made waves by suggesting a matchup against Sean Brady would be pretty straightforward. Sean Brady, the man who choked out Leon Edwards in the 4th round, can't be underestimated. Yet Usman sounds more than confident. He even referenced his famous clashes with Colby Covington, reminding everyone that two high-level wrestlers don't always engage in a ground war. They can end up trading bombs on the feet. According to Usman, that could very well be the case with Sean Brady. Both are physically imposing wrestlers, but once the cage door shuts, nothing is certain. Still, Usman believes his style can nullify just about anyone, whether it's striking or grappling. Fans are split. Some believe that the Nigerian Nightmare has lost a step, pointing to his most recent outings where he didn't look quite as dominant. MVP versus Colby Covington. Trash talk galore. Michael Venom Page has faced criticism in the past, with fans saying he's mostly entertained the Bellator crowd and hasn't truly tested himself on the biggest stage. Now that he's eyeing the UFC welterweight division, MVP has a list of targets, and at the top is none other than Colby Chaos Covington. What's the reason for this sudden fixation on Colby's chin? MVP simply says he wants to shut Colby's mouth once and for all, referencing a desire to land another highlight reel jumping knee. Colby Covington, never one to shy away from verbally decimating his opponents, fired back by calling MVP an irrelevant bum. He mocked MVP's knockout loss to Douglas Lima in Bellator, claiming he's never been slept like that in the UFC. The remarks quickly descended into more personal jabs, as Colby criticized MVP for beating an opponent who was, in Covington's eyes, severely compromised. Joe Pyfer versus Kelvin Gastelum, a tale of trajectories. Joe Pyfer has been turning heads. After dealing with an agonizing back injury that necessitated surgery, he's returned with a newfound determination. He sees Kelvin Gastelum as the perfect test to catapult him into middleweight contention. Pyfer claims he has every advantage over Gastelum: speed, strength, boxing, wrestling, you name it. He's even confident he could become the first man to knock Gastelum out cold. Kelvin Gastelum, on the other hand, has been in a slump, winning only 3 of his last 9. But it's impossible to ignore his resume. Former title challenger, multiple wars with elite opponents, and proven durability. Gastelum initially groaned when he heard he was fighting Joe Pyfer, figuring Pyfer wasn't a big enough name. But now he seems determined to showcase that experience matters and that he can handle a young, hungry upstart. The heavyweight riddle: Tom Aspinall versus Jon Jones. With 6 fights in the UFC that ended in first-round finishes, Tom Aspinall looks every bit like the next big thing in the heavyweight division. His speed, agility, and knack for finishing fights quickly have elevated him to top contender status in record time. Yet there's one name that casts a massive shadow over the division: Jon Jones. Bones is a living legend who's baffled countless challengers, some of whom had unstoppable finishing rates in lower-tier fights. Daniel Cormier, an icon with first-hand knowledge of Jones's capabilities, warned Tom Aspinall that stepping into the cage with the champion might be a whole different ordeal. Jones doesn't get finished early. He's resilient, strategic, and can adapt on the fly. The deeper the fight goes, the more he seems to figure out an opponent's weaknesses. DC wonders how Aspinall would cope with that if the finish doesn't come in the first round. Will he panic? Or does he have the composure to handle a legendary fighter who seems almost invincible when the fight extends past a few minutes? Raul Rosas Jr., Sean O'Malley rumors. While the top-tier fighters command most headlines, the sport's undercard is buzzing with its own drama. First, there's Raul Rosas Jr., a 20-year-old phenom set to fight 34-year-old Vince Morales. Rosas Jr. has garnered attention for his relentless pace and well-rounded skill set, earning a professional record of 10-1 before many fighters his age have even decided on a career path. Morales, though, has valuable experience under his belt. Still, Rosas Jr. is oozing confidence, eager to prove he's more than just hype. Then there's Sean O'Malley, who's been relatively quiet on social media. Still, UFC President Dana White hinted that O'Malley's next bout could be a rematch with Merab Dvalishvili, who's also eyeing a possible showdown with Aljamain Sterling. Bantamweight is stacked with intrigue, and everyone is guessing which direction O'Malley will choose, especially after revealing a flamboyant morning routine on social media that had fans half laughing and half scratching their heads. Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. The greasing accusation. If you thought the only controversies raging were about who's ducking whom, think again. Magomed Ankalaev's coach stirred a hornet's nest by suggesting that Alex Pereira greased himself before their fight, implying it was the reason Ankalaev's takedowns repeatedly failed. Pereira fired back with biting sarcasm, insisting he used no illegal substances and asking if the mats themselves were greased when Ankalaev slipped. Beyond the war of words, there's a bigger narrative here. Pereira is known for his striking prowess, honed by a storied kickboxing career. Ankalaev, a wrestling specialist, had been pegged as a potential champion by many analysts. That's why the failed takedown attempts shocked some fans. He's usually unstoppable when he closes the distance. Ankalaev continues to stir the pot on social media, claiming he wants a rematch and vowing that next time Pereira goes to sleep. For his part, Pereira is confident he outpointed Ankalaev, believing he took rounds 1, 3, and 5 convincingly.